Welcome, part two, to the As of Yet Untitled podcast. I'm your co-host. I'm your host today, Big D. Sometimes on this podcast, you're used to hearing me talk about the Eagles or the Phillies or some music shit. Today ain't that. Today's a little different. I'm joined by two people I've known for an awful long time. When I found out that they were in this realm, I was a bit intrigued, surprised, but not shocked one bit. To my right, I have Miss Tanisha Gomez.
Hello, people.
To my left, Miss Jasmine Gomez-Demby. Say what's up to the people.
Hola, mi gente.
My first question is, how long have you guys known each other?
Well,
I want to say all our lives, but that would be a lie. We share the same father, different mothers. So I think I first became aware that I had siblings about 9 years old. I saw pictures at our father's house and was asking who these people were. And one of them was Jazzy. And I found out she was only like 5 miles up the road in the town next door.
Yeah. So all your life you've known each other. Yeah. So that's kind of what I was getting at. You two are sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is very different for anybody that is siblings to get into this realm of politics, what we'll be talking about. The first question I wanted to ask you guys a little bit about your background. So I'm going to start with you, Miss Demby Gomez, Gomez-Demby.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about your background.
My educational background, me background.
Your me background. We can get into the education later.
Okie dokie. Well, I am born and raised in Vineland, New Jersey, a.k.a. Cumberland County. And I've raised my own children here. We've all went to school here. I graduated from here. I know Vineland very well. I know Cumberland County very well. And just seeing everything that's been going on, I'm ready to make some change around here. So basically born, raised around here, educated my children around here, and I'm still here.
Tanisha?
I guess we share a lot of the same story, but more about when you say about me, who the person I am. Like I said, I'm a worker. Same thing, was basically born in Vineland, raised right outside of Vineland, did everything from work, lived in Vineland, actually lived in Cumberland County. I've been from Vineland to Fairfield to Millville and bought my home finally in Vineland. I didn't get to go to Vineland schools, but my daughters did. Like I said, as a person, I was almost as shocked as you were, Derek, or surprised about the politics, because it wasn't something that I thought of. I've just been a worker all my life, from factory to nursing home to childcare to doula now working with the unhoused. So with all that work and all that experience, it's time to go to the next level. And just like Jazzy said, we don't like what we've been seeing. So it's time for somebody to step up. We can't wait for somebody else. So we decided we do it.
That's actually a great segue, something you said that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Coming from, how can I put this, a tan background, we don't always get a firm grasp on what politics is, because it's not something that's really talked in our homes when we were growing up, when we were younger. So I want to ask, I'll start with you. When were you exposed to politics? At what age did you realize that there was somebody who made the decision to figure out whether we got books in the school or the park was clean? At what point did you realize that, or did you figure that out?
Well, I didn't figure it out, but I can definitely say by 18 years old, I knew that it was time to vote, because my grandfather, an immigrant from Puerto Rico, because that's how they treated them when they came over here years ago. When I turned 18, he said, we're going down to City Hall because you're going to register to vote.
Typical tan person story.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And he said, you're going to vote. You're going to register to vote. You're Democrat. The white people are Republicans. The rich people are Republicans. The poor people, us, are the Democrats.
He put it out there.
And he said, and I didn't come here in my bare feet so that you don't stand up and do what you need to do as an American citizen born here and you vote. And that's what he pushed, Democrat. And then as we're walking into the city hall, he mentioned that in this city hall is where a lot of decisions are made about what happens in our town. He said, because my grandparents who started this organization, Acción Social, once they got here and built for themselves, they were bringing everybody else. So he knew, like, walking into this building, he's had to go in there with his broken English and ask for things. And so as we're walking in, he's telling me about that, about, City Hall, and that's where you start in the town, and then it's bigger in the state, and then there's the president of the United States. So for my grandfather having maybe a 4th grade degree, he really broke it down in basic terms, but he made me understand a little something. So from that point is where I didn't get into politics at all.
But that was like your first exposure.
Exactly. That was my first exposure of the judiciary system. Yeah.
That makes sense. What about you?
Big difference in our upbringing. I was 30-something. Sad to admit, but it's true. It wasn't talked about in my home. If my mom voted, she never told us about it. It was just not a topic. My daughter, my oldest daughter, came in from school, 4th grade. I think it was 2004 Bush Kerry presidential. And she came home and she said, "Mommy, who you voting for?" And I looked at her and said, "Baby, I don't vote." The look of disgust on that child. And she sat me down with everything she learned that day and was like, "Oh, no, you have to vote." And so that was kind of like my introduction, but I still didn't. I'm still, every 4 years, I got hype again when Obama came. I even canvassed and did all kinds of stuff, didn't know exactly what I was doing. About 2023, following my sister's lead, now I'm listening a little bit more to people around me. We're not liking decisions that are being made. So now I'm asking a couple more questions, which led to more questions, which led me joining to committees so that I can get the inside scoop. So yeah, late to the party, but now that I'm here, it's a ever-learning cycle and we got work to do. And now that I know, that's kind of my focus, is to make sure everybody else knows too. Your vote does matter. If it didn't, they wouldn't be trying to stop it.
Well, it's not, neither one of your stories are uncommon. There are, and because of the fact that it doesn't get talked about in a lot of Black and brown homes, that's not uncommon whatsoever. There are a lot of people. I have cousins who are in their 50s who have never voted, right? On the same token, my grandmother was not going for that. Like, the minute I turned 18, we went to the municipal building and I registered to vote. So that is not uncommon. That is the yin and yang of being Black and brown. The problem in lies is where that does not get stopped, where the cycle does not get stopped. So the fact that your daughter basically guilted you into voting is a beautiful thing. So don't feel bad about it at all. Right. And the fact that your grandfather was the one who was like, "Yeah, we came here and this is part of our rights that we're here. We're going to do it." Mm-hmm. So not uncommon stories, both great stories. And if anybody's listening, hopefully if you're listening to this, you understand the importance of voting. It's one of, quite honestly, one of the rights that they are really trying to curtail and take away from all people, but for most of the people that are Black and brown, they are really trying to take that away from us.
And we're giving it up willingly.
Yeah.
It's the most underused right that we have.
A basic fundamental right that you have that you don't use, but yet want to complain about. But we'll get into that a little later. Before we even move any further, we didn't say what you guys are running for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be really pertinent to this conversation. Sure. So what are you guys running for?
Well, we're running for Cumberland County Commissioner.
Both of you.
Formerly known as the Freeholders of New Jersey.
Yes.
Cumberland County.
Very well.
And because there is 3 seats open, we figure we're going to take 2 of them.
Damn, so y'all just wanted to do the whole sibling jump in somebody else's seat type shit, huh?
Pretty
Listen,
much.
what we're seeing in politics right now, I've never heard of in life. So if that craziness is going on, what's so crazy about two sisters getting 2 seats and actually working for the people?
Well, it's almost like you've done this before, but that's a great segue to my next question. We are in one of the most divisive political times in history. You'd probably have to go back to the late 1800s when someone was trying to free the slaves, honestly.
Seriously.
So that being said, this being one of the most divisive times in political history in the world, not even in just country, the question begs, why now? So I'll ask you both, why now?
Why now jump in?
Yeah.
Because it's critical. We're in a crisis right now. My neighbors can't afford food on their table. They can't afford their utilities. I got people living in tents out in the woods behind my house. There's no need for that. We're paying million, like Tupac was really for serious when he said we got money for war, but not to feed the poor. Like,
he need to get
come on now. It don't make no sense.
Hey, if you guys want to listen to the Robinson Fan 5 podcast,
we
spoke on that.
We have, yo. Exactly.
Dude wasn't even 26 and he was way ahead of his time. But yeah, continue.
But pretty much I know that's what it is for me. I mean, my background is nursing, emergency preparedness. Whenever there is a need, I've always jumped in. We could even take it back to the factory. They're the ones that sent me to do my first Move Smart training, made me a training instructor at 20-something. I can now look back and see, because I was friendly and I didn't want nobody to get hurt. So I was already warning people. So then they sent me for that. So like I said, right now I feel like we're in crisis. I think I have enough skills and experience to sit at that table and problem solve, not blaming, not pointing fingers, because we ain't got time for that. In this divisive time, nobody got energy for fighting. We need to come together and come get some solutions so that we can all eat and thrive.
Agree. Can you piggyback on that? Why not?
And same for me, because it is crucial out here on these streets. And it's been a blue wave, if we want to talk political terms. In New Jersey, we're blue. We just got a woman governor.
Mm-hmm.
So we both attended Elect NJ, this conference for women in politics. And that was super enlightening for us because we come from a room that they're telling us, no, you're crazy. Minority women running all the way to the top for Cumberland County Commissioner.
At the same time?
At the same time, like they looked at us like this. So that's when we said, it's time, because we need real people. Like she said, not pointing fingers, not any of that. We're not saying what they've done to date hasn't been great. They've been doing what they're doing. But because the times are so rough right now, we need real people in there that are going to work for the people. We're going to bring situations, problem solving to the table of real life things that are going on. And why not start at the county level? Because Violin is the biggest city, number one. So even if we do our work in Violin, hey, it's a big city. So I just want to get in, tackle the county, and get at this table and make real good choices for the people of the county, not for someone who's trying to get money, someone who's trying to do whatever their personal agendas are. We want to be for the people.
So you're going to run into some of the things that you said, like, being women of color, siblings. You're going to run into resistance. And if you haven't already, you're going to run into resistance by many different types of factors, opposite genders, some of the people that are your same sex. You're going to run into it all. My question for you is, once you get, we'll speak it into existence. Once you get there, you have to have a unifying front, because people will look at you guys and say, okay, you're here now. what's up? You know what I mean? They're not going to just be satisfied with having you at the table. You have to work when you get to the table.
Oh, absolutely.
What are some of the things, agenda-wise, that you have in your mind that you want to work at when you get to the table? I'll start with you first.
So from what we've been told, from what I've learned so far, they pretty much assign you. So there's 7 commissioners, and they're assigned as liaisons to different departments within the county.
That is correct.
I can specifically say, like, one of my main interests is human services, because that's where I've been volunteering for the last 10 years. Cumberland County Human Services Advisory Council with the Children's Interagency Coordinating Councils, Mental Health and Addiction Board, and things like that. So what we do is we receive funding. So I realized what I've learned on these councils is that we receive funding as a county. We put out these requests for proposals, and people fill out for them, and they get the funding, right? Once they get the funding, I'm part of a subcommittee. We go back and we go see, are you doing what you said you're going to do? And is it effective? There's several parts. Well, as commissioners, you're a liaison to these groups. And what I've noticed and what I've seen is I've had commissioners' names on my agenda. I've been on this board. I've been a vice chair for 6 years. I might have seen a commissioner 3 times in 6 years. So if you're a liaison, my problem is you're supposed to be overseeing. We're getting funding. I got people hard at work, but the needs aren't decreasing. They're increasing. That means there's a disconnect. So whoever's supposed to be guiding and supporting us, you're at the table. So that's one of the things I want to do. I need to get to the next level so I can get the broader picture. Once again, not blaming, but something is obviously not working. And whoever's there doesn't want to admit it's not working. How do you fix a problem if you don't identify it? And the problem is that our needs in this county are increasing. We are always the worst health outcomes, worst youth, juveniles, our poor babies, guns, drugs, the grave. We've got to do something different. And it's at that level that we can increase public safety, prioritize what we're fixing, what we're doing. I'm grateful that we got a nice little park in Violin. But what are my people doing out in Cedarville, 40 Skew, like Morris River Township? Because, there is 14 municipalities altogether. Violin, Millville, Bridgeton is big, but we got some other areas. And I feel like we don't be talking about them. They sure enough letting us know we ain't talking about them. So it's time that we start paying attention. And that's the type of things that when I get to the table, I want to kind of address. Reaching out services to where they haven't been getting them and making sure that everybody here has your basic needs.
Well, I'd like to say that position is, you're basically the county's conscience. That's what you are.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the conscience can have a great overall plan and idea. I'm talking about people who may be already in that position, and it gets compromised by other factors that are already in local government. So I'll ask you the same question about some of the things that you have on your agenda, but the integrity. Now, I'm acting like I don't know you guys. Obviously, I know you. So I know who you are, but the people don't know who you are. So first question is some of the things agenda-wise that you want to get your heads wrapped around, and then speak about the integrity that may not be there now that you hope to bring if you get into that position.
So my basic agenda is mainly what I feel are county needs, which we all know are county needs: good paying jobs, relief from poverty and financial struggles, affordable housing, because the homeless, like we've talked about a million times, is big time here. Good education and workforce development, healthcare, mental, all of that, because that's all part of what the county does. The county libraries, the hospitals, so we're going to be in the mix of that, making prayerfully better quality decisions so that all those things can continue to run and flourish. So those are like the basic of everything in Cumberland County. My personal goal, where my heart is right now, is the youth in the community. Being part of the Violin Midget Football League.
I'm glad you said it, because I was just getting ready to ask you.
I see the need of our children. And as a league, you get your money from fundraising and your parents. We don't get a lot of our money from our parents. A lot of our parents are out here working very hard to survive. And I hear it in baseball. You see all the fundraisers and everything going on. There's people out here, I don't know, we can name names like JT Burks. There's a lot of people out here doing good things for the youth, but they seem to not be able to get their money on the hands, their hands on the money. Talking about a liaison, I would like to see some type of youth advocate liaison on the county level to see where we could reallocate money that's not being spent correctly or just waste, whatever. Let's figure out, because the problem is not that there's no money. It's the problem, where's the money going to? So I would like to look into that, to give these people, not give, but grants, whatever it is, we'll figure it out, a system to put into place so that these people who are providing these mentorships for our youth programs, the sports who are providing what they provide, so that they could get some type of financial support. And because since it seems like each city can get money from their city to do these things, maybe as a county-wide, we can do it and help all the youth activities and everything going on county-wide. That's one of my missions, agenda, sidebar, whatever, getting to the table and seeing, because like I said, there's things in there, because youth education, youth is one of the things the county does get money for. It's just like, where is it? Because what happens is, as soon as a kid is murdered or something, then they want to call on the people of the community. Oh, you're usually with the kids. Come and see what's going on. Pray for the kids and things like that. Well, let's provide more support out there to keep the kids off the streets, basically. And just I ran after school programs, so you already know the youth. That's my thing. I love the babies, all ages at this point, because currently I work with Early Head Start. So I'm with the newborns to 5-year-olds, but I've worked with basically from newborn all the way to like 16 years old.
Yeah, again, I was going to segue into that because I remember telling my son a story one time. You mentioned the youth. I remember telling him a story one time that there's 12 guys on the baseball team. And when you get older, those same 12 guys that you start with, I think you might have been 11, 4 of them will be doing well. 4 of them will be just making it, getting by, and 4 will be dead or in jail. To a man, that happened. To a man. As a matter of fact, I think it's closer to 6 dead or in jail. And we don't live in Camden. We don't live in Atlantic City.
Right.
We live here. The youth is also a big part of my life. I feel as though we all have a purpose. And I think as I've gotten older, I've realized that that is part of my purpose. So understanding where funding goes, and not even so much funding, although that's a big part of it, support. Support is huge. And I don't know where funds get allocated, who does what, but I do know this. It's not enough. And if you want to see what your city's going to be like in 10 years, go to a basketball court, a football field, or a baseball field, or any city park 10 years earlier and look at the kids that are there. And as a microcosm of what your city's going to look like in 10 years. Mm-hmm. To be able to get that youth to a point where you can't save them all, but to get that youth to the point where it starts to go in the other direction, to know that there is accessible help. And the parents have a lot to do with this, because sometimes you're right. They are working their ass off just to make sure they got food on the table. They don't know what's going on with their kids half the time. To get them to the point where they know that there are services available for them, because a lot of times they don't even know that. They don't know that there's something out there for them when it comes to like anything. Like some parents don't even know there's after school programs, you know? So I think that is something that is huge.
Education.
Yeah. education that is huge for the county as itself, because it all starts with them. Without them, none of this stuff really matters. At the end of the day, it goes back to them, because if the parent can't find a living wage, who does it affect? The child.
Mm-hmm.
If the parent can't find affordable housing, who's it affect? Child. And it's a cycle that affects the entire country. But the more I've been here, I see it here a lot. And I travel all over the country. I work all over the state. I see a lot everywhere. And it ain't all like this. Some places have it figured out. So my second to my last question will be, why should someone, and this is a simple question, why should someone trust that when they click that box to vote for you, and this goes back to the integrity thing, that you have their best interests at heart? Because you're going to see these people. It ain't like you ain't going to see them.
Right.
You know? I've had parents come up to me, why you take my son out of a game at Walmart and have a 15-minute conversation with me? I can't imagine if it was like, well, you didn't vote for the after school program. What's up with that, Miss Demby? You know what I mean? So you're going to see them.
Right.
What do you tell the people? I want to know what you tell the people. We've talked about what you want to accomplish, what needs to be accomplished. What do you tell, Jasmine, I'm going to start with you. What do you tell the people?
I tell the people, number one, that I'm people for the people. Okay. I believe that we deserve leadership. I'm running because I want to be this voice for the people of Cumberland County. I want to strengthen our communities. I want to support our families. I want to create opportunities where everyone has a fair chance to succeed. You know, it's time for leadership that reflects the people and the works of the people of this community. And that's basically, and I say as wholeheartedly. And the good part about it is, because I am in the community and I've helped people, I see people light up when I say I'm running for Cumberland County. It's kind of like, yeah, you would be great for that, you know? And then I feel like another crazy, they say everything happens for a reason. Like this past month, I've been running into so many of my former students and families that I helped. And just to see how a large portion of them are thriving, and just to thank me for doing what I've done in their life to encourage them to be successful in life is crazy, because sometimes you think back and I'm like, I dealt with so many kids and I just pray that, they were touched in a great way, somehow, some way. And
I do it all the time when it comes to coaching. And just hope I touched one.
Mm-hmm. And just to hear them, I literally ran into a Mexican family and, well, they say I never change. So they recognized me immediately and just couldn't thank me enough, and went on and on and on and on and on how they're doing and how they literally got all their citizenship, because that's what I used to do at Gateway. But anyway, it's just, that's why I feel like it's time. It's time. I've been helping people. It's just been in me. And that's why I feel now when I tell people what my agenda is and the reason why I'm there is for you. I'm getting on there for you, your kids, your grandmom, everybody. That's who when I say I want to speak for the people, I want to speak for the people. And I feel like because I've lived here, I've been here, and I'm compassionate, I can really get down to what do we really need to see some sincere change and serious change.
Yeah. So pretty much about the same, and the little bit of time when you get to meet new people, because it's okay when people know you, but when you try to meet new people and try to explain to them who you are and what you are,
different.
I pretty much same thing. I try to go on my track record. I tell everybody, when I say I'm representing people, oh no, I was the factory worker. I was the aide, understaffed and overworked. I became the nurse who was underappreciated. I saw the statistics, Black and brown moms that were dying on the table having a baby. Why are you dying having a baby? It's one of the most natural things. So I went and got certified. So pretty much I tell people that because I'm a worker. When I see there's a need, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to fill it. That's what my track record is. I've been through the struggle myself. I've been the single mom. I always made $2 too much to qualify for anything. So the struggle was real. It was like being punished for working. But at the same time, I don't want nobody else to go through that struggle. So that's same thing. Why I'm stepping up, being representative. When you talk about integrity, a lot of people that go on the table, they're politicians. They want to politic. I'm not a politician. I'm a person. I'm a person that got pissed off because I didn't like what was seen. So I decided to learn a little bit and prepare myself so I could jump in and be at the table. You know, when they say there's no seat for you, bring your chair. That's what we doing.
We bring the table and a chair.
Okay.
And on integrity, that's exactly what it is. We're politicking, but we're not politicians.
Right.
And that's where the integrity is going to stand. The same person I am right now is the same person I'm going to be at that table. Because many people have mentioned, oh, you got to tone it down if you want to be county commissioner. Oh, you got to do this if you want to be county commissioner. I seen the 4 qualifications. You got to be 18 years old. You got to be a Cumberland County resident. You got to be a registered voter. And that about it. So as far as the eligibility and the qualifications,
I think you're good.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where my integrity stands on. I'm going to stand on business and I'm going to be me. And that's what they're going to get.
I like the sound of that. That is well needed, well said. And that is the goal. The goal is to put your imprint on this county, and you will do that if you are yourself. Because if you're somebody else, first of all, who wants to do that? And secondly, the shit never works. So just continue to do what you're doing. I think you both have a lot of passion for this, which I kind of knew that you would. And I'm really impressed by some of the things that we spoke about. I think the county would be good in good hands with you both. And that is a goal. I'll do everything in my power to help you get there. I have,
Amen.
Most of the people.
Right, thank you.
Yeah. Most of the people who listen to this, like we have over 20,000 listeners, but most of the people who listen to this are, they live in Philly because they wouldn't listen to the Eagles. But I do have a large portion of people
Right.
that are from this area that do listen as well. So
Right. Tell the family.
Yeah.
Philly might got violent family.
Yeah.
Tell the friends.
Yeah. We definitely gonna work on that. And so before we wrap, the last thing we're gonna talk about, we're gonna have a little I don't know if we gonna keep this in or not. We will. So if you listen to it and you hear the final part of this, we'll you'll find out if it's in there or not. If not, we'll keep it for the archives. But we're gonna have a little bit of a rant session. So I think the second thing I said was we live in a very interesting and polarizing political climate.
Mm-hmm.
And we under the thumb of a person who, quite frankly, does not have our best interests at heart whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. And has made it very clear.
Yeah, it's not even a secret. Part of that I respect.
Right.
Yeah, part of that I respect. Like my uncle used to tell me this story about taking this guy who saw a snake on the ground and his back was broken. And he was like, yo, can you take me up the hill? And he was like, nah, I'm not going to take you up the hill. He's like, please, can you take me up the hill? So he put the snake on his back. He brings him up the hill. As soon as he gets up the hill, the snake bites him. And he was like, damn, why you bite me? He said, I was a snake when you brought me up here. Same thing.
Exactly.
The people that, and they're feeling it now. Like, I don't care who you are, what color, how bright your red hat is. They are feeling it now. They're like, oh shit, we didn't know this was going to happen.
Right.
When we all knew that this was going to happen.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
clear and present danger.
Yeah. This is not a shock one bit to anybody that we are going through this, and it's just getting worse and worse and worse. So my last question, my rant question is, I'm going to give you a few minutes to talk about not even Cumberland County. I want you to talk about this place that we live in, this country that we live in, that, we all a certain tone. We was brought here 400 years ago against our will. Some of us was dropped off on an island. Some of us was dropped off here. So if you're out there and you're listening, if you have any tint in your skin, guess what? You African. And you was brought here just like, I don't care how light-skinned Puerto Rican you are. I don't care how dark-skinned Puerto Rican you are, how black, light-skinned you are. They used to have the brown paper bag test. If you was lighter than a brown paper bag, you was part white. That's what they used to do back in the day. I told you this was going to be different, so let me cook. So I want you guys to talk. We talked to the people earlier. Now I want you to talk to your people. Because our people, and I don't just mean y'all people, I'm talking about our people.
Mm-hmm.
A, they don't vote like they should.
Mm-hmm.
And B, there are a certain segment of them that voted for him.
Yes, there is.
Yeah. And I'm sure they have buyer's remorse at this point.
Yes. And I'm offering them all to come on back to blue.
This is what I want. This is what I want.
It's okay to change your mind.
This is what I want. Talk to the people.
It's okay if you made some bad choices in your life, because we all have, okay? But now is the time. If you want to get right with God, come on back on over to blue, because the red is not the wave, because that man is truly trying to take everybody out. So I'm going to need every last non-voter, my vote don't count. I'm going to need all of y'all to get it together, be the voice for the people that can't be the voice. If you can register and are not register, you need to vote. If you vote, make a plan, stop playing. I'm going to be honest. I don't even care if you go in the booth and just vote for me and my sister at this point. So I'm going to keep it all the way 100, because at this point, start somewhere. If you want to see your vote counts, get in there, vote for us, get us on this table, and watch us work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what people need to understand. This is not about me. It's not about clout. It's not about adding it to my resume. It's not about none of that. It's about really what I want to prove to these people is, number one, you don't got to be the richest person in the room to run for nothing. Number two, I want to bring out new voters. I want to bring out new registered voters. I want them to see that our people are showing up and out for us, because the numbers are there. And that is what this mission for me is. I want to blow them out so bad that now tell me your vote don't count. Tell me your vote don't count now.
And we
know
really could do it, because it was the non-voters is how we got here in the first place. Those
Exactly.
that were registered and didn't vote. If you didn't know, we have, and I'm going to take it back to the county because those are the numbers I know. But
and it's public knowledge, so we can speak on it.
We have about over 95,000 registered voters in Cumberland County. About 46,000 come out and vote. And that's in a general when it's a big election. Primary, less than 20,000. Like, we definitely have to do better.
Listen, I've been working the elections probably for like 10 years now. And how'd I learn that? My grandfather used to work the elections when it was the book. And I used to go take him lunch, and it was all old people in there. But anyway, I'm making my grandpa so proud.
You sure are.
I can't even help myself.
He hearing it. I
know he is. Oh, because you know my grandparents is in heaven.
Yeah.
I know they still walking around. Them prayers right there don't play games. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to tell you like this. That's the whole moral of it. We are here for the people, and we want to shock them. Like, you know what I'm saying? We need to tell the people that were telling us, y'all crazy for doing it. The people that say you ain't got no money to do it. We're going to use our feet and our mouth. Like, we old school. Boots to the ground.
But we definitely need everybody, going back to talking to the crowd and everybody that's listening. Just like Sister said, we're going to need you to register. We're going to need you to make a plan. There are so many different ways to vote. You can
Early
have
voting.
a mail-in ballot.
Mm-hmm.
If you already sent it out. If you already put in your application, your mail-in ballot will be arriving at your door soon. So please check your mailbox so that you can fill that out, send that back. Early voting will be available starting when?
The week before. June 2nd, so that's like that Thursday, May.
And that'll be open 8 to 8, right?
No, it opens at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
And then obviously you vote on election day. And you can't just be yourself. We're going to need you to talk to your neighbors, talk to your children. Everybody
Fran.
use your vote. Your vote is your voice. And if you don't use it, you have no room to complain.
We want to hear shit.
We're taking the front, okay? We go into the battlefield, but I need people to be prepared to come up after. I done turned 50, okay? I got about maybe another good 10, 15 years of fight that I'm going to give y'all.
Okay.
But I'm going to need people to start stepping up and getting prepared to be in the position after us. It goes back to that integrity. We can't keep complaining about this guy and all his people, because he ain't by himself. He got a lot of people, and that's a culture they built that trickled down into the different states, because we see a lot of the familiar actions right here in our own town, but it started. They're the ones, the administrations, who gave everybody permission to show their true colors. But it's going to be us uniting together
to
put them back in their place. And we can only do that with our vote. We can be mad. We can go to the rallies, because I'll be there. I'll be holding my sign. That's called peaceful resistance. Show your face. We are here in numbers. But that vote is what's really going to make the change.
Well,
Amen.
You know, I agree with everything you said. I think as somebody who's been around for quite some time, I will say that I am more Malcolm than I am Martin. So
you got the fact.
I think we've gotten our fair share out of shoe leather. We've worn out enough shoes. We've marched quite enough. It's time to put action behind that. And voting is the way to do that. And there has not been there hasn't been an election since, and this is fact, I'm not making this off the top of my head, although I could give you facts off the top of my head, but this is a fact. Every election since John F. Kennedy has been swung by the brown vote. Everyone. It swings every vote. Every election, it swings.
Period.
So if we show up, we get it done.
That's simple.
Period.
As simple as that. You know?
And for those that are disengaged, because that's another one, that's our registered voter, they're disengaged. And I'm talking about party-wise. So there have been people that backed up from Democratic Party because of seeing similar things. Greedy people are going to be greedy people. We got sinners in church. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're everywhere. So back to...
That's convenient excuse of them, though.
Yeah, but I just want people to know, instead of keep pointing the finger of why they keep doing, how about we become the they? So not only do I need you to vote, how about you find out about your local committees? How about you find out how to get more involved? How about you show up to these county meetings and give report and share information with everybody else? So there is a little bit more than just voting in order to get involved, because you got to know what you're voting for.
Well, like I said, that's convenient excuses because it's easier to complain than do.
Right.
Always.
So,
but it don't change nothing, so we can't do that.
Right.
We can't spend time.
I agree.
Can we give a shout out to a congressional candidate?
You can give a shout out to anybody you want, except for Jeff.
So since you brought that up, let's talk a little bit about letting the people know about the congressional campaign that's coming up, and Tim Alexander is one of the people running, and I'm not going to mention no other names because I've already made my choice, and
okay, all right,
and he's my choice, Tim Alexander. But I just want to put that out there for him, because I believe he is who we need to beat out Vandrow.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And with all his policies, everything that he's talking about, he, to me, is the best candidate for the position. All the other people are amazing too. There's some great people, but what we need right now is Tim Alexander.
Shout out to you, Tim. You heard it here. I think that piggybacking on that, we can kind of talk, but at the end of the day, you're speaking about a person like Tim, the people that are listening to this, you have to do your homework as well.
Correct.
You might know, Tanisha from church, or you might have seen Jazzy at football field. Until you heard them here, you may not have know what the hell they stood for. That goes with everything. So do your research. This might not be your cup of tea, but I can assure you that the people that I have at this table right now, or they are not fake. They are not phony. What you hear is not because we're on these microphones. They really believe this shit and they feel it. So if this is what you feel, this is the place that you should be voting. I'll end it there. We shall be talking again. Like I said, we're going to talk one more time before the primary. Ladies, this was everything I thought it would be and more.
Awesome.
I'm glad that you chose, although Jazzy kind of bullied me. I'm glad you chose to come to my platform so that we could talk about, but I would have done it anyway.
Yeah. Well,
Thank you for
people need
having
to
us.
know. People need to know, who's who.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity to let us get our info out.
Yeah.
Very much so. And with a friend. So that's cool.
No
it was
doubt.
cool.
No doubt. So with that, I'm going to sign off and get out there and vote, people.
Yes,
and,
please.
Yeah, you know what I mean? All you got to do is sign a couple papers and go downtown or go to a school.
You can do it online now.
Do it online now, yeah.
Hit me up on Facebook.
Go vote. We out.